Good morning, afternoon, evening, night, midnight, whatever the heck time you're calling me. That was my old cell phone.
She's trying to get away from me.
Alright, we're gonna stretch today. So let's get warmed up. Let's start with them side shuttle hops. 20 of them, go.
So if you were with us yesterday, today is even more important to stretch out the muscles we were working.
Alright, so we're gonna go to squat jack. Same thing, feet go apart and you squat, and then you jack when you come up. So we're gonna do 10 of these because we're gonna do a different variation in a second. So just 10, squat every time your feet go apart. 10, go.
Oh my goodness, she's trying to squat.
Synchronize. Alright, so now you do the same thing, but we're just gonna squat with our feet together. So my feet are only gonna be, they're not gonna come all the way together, they're gonna be about shoulder width, but it's just a slightly different squat, and then you're gonna jump your feet apart. So I'm gonna go from here, apart, back in. Okay, 10 times, let's go.
He's testing my coordination.
That one I actually feel more than the white one. Alright, let's go light hamstring stretches, feet apart, down in the middle. Okay, go over to one side. Go over to the other side. Go back in the middle. And relax. Cool sauce. All right. You guys, I'm still not going to do the hip stretches with you, but I'm still scared of them. These guys can show you. So in the crab stretch, bend your knees, use your hands to push your knees apart. Alright, and go ahead and relax. Alright, so we're going to hit quite a few alternate stretches. They stretch different parts that we normally don't feel, but hopefully that'll make your base stretches a little bit easier. These are all stretches that you can do on a daily basis as well, because they're pretty much positions that we just sit in, with the exception of one. You can do it daily, but you don't sit in it. Okay, so we're going to start with the frog stretch to get for our hips. So feet apart, knees apart, I should say, as far as you can. Your feet do not need to touch. Matter of fact, your feet probably shouldn't be touching for this one. Go as far as you can. Alright, now you're going to go into the lotus stretch, which I'm trying to show you from the side. It's where your feet touch. Your feet stay touching the floor. You're going to try to put your belt on the ground. Oh, it's scary. Go as flat as you can. Go back in the frog. Alright, yeah, I feel that one. You're gonna sit backwards as far as you can sit. Stand up. Alright, so we're going to do this standing and on the ground. Going back to hamstrings. We're going to go feet together and touch your toes. You really just want to let your body hang. So for me, I can't touch my toe. Well, I don't know. I haven't tried it in a while. But if I haven't done this, practiced this one for a while, I normally can't touch my toes. It takes me a while to get my fingers down. So you just want to hang. You don't want to try to shove yourself down. You just want to relax. So bend down and chill. Now you're going to put one foot in front of the other in a straight line. The back leg can relax. The front leg is going to be completely straight. Bend down as far as you can. Alright, switch feet. Line them toes up. My legs are not crossed. They're not like this. I got one foot right in front of the other, just like that.
Uh-oh, this is a sober test. What
Yeah.
are we doing while we're off?
Hopefully you're not drunk. Alright, stretch.
Interesting.
Alright, now we're going back, feet together. And we're going to stretch straight down again.
Oh, I have a big stretch difference. Fingers are on the floor.
And relax. Okay, so now we're going to do that on the floor. Have a seat. Well, we're going to add a piece that's going to come after, and then I have some challenges for you. I'm going to have you guys rolling around on the ground looking silly, because it's fun. Alright, but we still got to stretch this out a little bit. When you're on the floor, the stretch feels a lot different to me. I can stretch my lower back a lot better on the floor. So grab the back of your legs if you can't reach your feet like me. You want to relax your legs though, so I don't want to feel like I'm squeezing my legs to pull forward. I feel like they're just chilling, so you can use your arms to pull instead. Alright, stretch forward. Okay, now go one foot on top of the other. Stretch forward. Okay, go to the other side.
This side is slightly more flexible for me.
And back to the feet together part. Cool sauce and relax. Alright, so we're still going to brutalize these hamstrings, but we're going to stretch our lower back, which is going to help us to go further forward. So, everybody's favorite, you're going to put your butt up in the air, flip your feet over your head, try to get your toes to the ground. If you can pull your toes to the ground, you try to get your knees to the ground. So, yeah, well, like that would be good. Feet over your head. Hands up. And relax. Got it down for like the last 5 minutes. Alright, so before we do the challenge, we gotta go back forward in our straight leg stretch. Stretch as far as you can. Okay, and relax. Alright, so here's the challenge. We're gonna try to roll without letting our feet leave the floor. Alright, so it's hard enough to explain this to you guys when you're here. It's gonna be even harder on the video. This is your challenge. So I'm gonna show you facing this direction so it might be easier to see. But the more flexible you are with your lower back, the easier this is. So if you can lay like your chest on your leg, should be super simple. You want to turn yourself into that taco and then just stay taco and roll. But for unflexible folk like me, it's going to be super hard. So your head has to go forward. If you look backwards or open up at all, it ain't going to work. Head's got to go forward. Now I'm going to more or less walk my feet over this way and keep my head on this side. So my front hand's going to go under my leg. Head stays forward. Walk from one foot to the other foot and over. Your goal is to do that without letting your feet leave the floor. If you can, me and Rory used to do this in circles in his living room back in the day. Let's see if I can do a good one to keep my feet down.
Jim says you're trying to kill an old man.
I can't keep my feet down, but alright, try it a couple times. This is just for fun. Play.
Start to try out.
And roll sideways.
This is our challenge
now,
stretch.
I'm going to try to move this foot over to the other side.
You're not quite there yet. That's okay.
What do I do with my hands?
Nothing. You should be on the back of your head. You got to keep your chin down.
My feet were touching the whole time.
You got to keep your chin down. You got to roll onto your shoulders. Like your lower back won't touch the ground.
Good job, Miss Smith.
It's your shoulders. So now you're already going backwards. Forward. You got to stay forward. Now you got to stay like this. Get your hand under there. Stop. Stay here. Upside down. Get your head under. Here. Back of your head. Your chin touch your chest. Watch my head. My chin gonna touch my chest the whole time. We'll start like this. Right here. Right, my chin's in. It's not gonna leave my chest. If anything, it's gonna hit harder once I get upside down. Going on to the back of my neck, which means if you look up, you done messed up. You gotta stay here. Back of my head.
Okay.
There you go.
If you guys are jumping on, this really is a stretch. It really is. It might not look like one,
Yeah,
but it really is a stretch.
This is just turning the stretch into a game.
Oh, Bethany did.
Yay!
Faster is easier, isn't it?
A little bit. Yeah, you keep leaning backwards. You keep trying to go backwards. You gotta imagine you're like stuck in this position.
Okay, I'm gonna blend my hair. I've got it on a knot in the back of my head. I can't get to the back of my head.
Jim is saying because of these stretches, he ordered floor mats that are coming in tomorrow. So he's excited.
Alright. So let's go back to hips, more specifically your glutes. So we're gonna go.
I'm playing peekaboo with Gemma between the bars. She looks
I don't know
over the bar and under the bar.
which leg I should try this on. Alright, so my front leg is gonna be completely sideways. I'm facing straight forward. So you don't wanna tuck it in this way. You wanna try to keep it as flat as possible, and that's gonna stretch the inside of this hip. This leg is gonna go straight back behind you, and you're gonna push that leg back as far as you can and try to get completely flat on the ground. That's step one. Now, if you can get completely flat on the ground, then you lay forward on your front leg. But if you're sideways like I am right now, where I'm like this, laying forward on your leg isn't really that big a stretch. I mean, I feel a little bit of a stretch, but you know, it's doable. So we're trying to stay on the hip. So we're gonna be up like this. The more over your knee you get, the more you're gonna start to feel, well for me, the more I feel my knee stretch.
Make sure your straight leg, if this is easy, slide that straight leg backwards. You will feel it.
All right, let's go to the other side. I don't know which side was gonna be worse. Like, that's why I hesitated at the beginning. I'm like, do I wanna do my right leg or left leg? Which motion's gonna hurt? Let's find out if I can do this. By the way, I'm like, if you hear me scream and like run off the camera or crawl off the camera crying, it's because I'm trying to figure out what motions I can do. It's only been 2 weeks since I pulled my groin, and those things normally take a couple months to fully heal. So if you think that you want to stretch a pull, you don't. You'll make it worse. Okay, and relax. Now we're gonna do the naked model pose, which is this pose you always see the models be doing. They sit like this. But for somebody of my flexibility, who's not very flexible, if I let go of my hand, I'm gone. So straighten this leg out. Push this leg as far forward as you can without moving this leg, but keep this foot on the floor. And then once you get here, simply hug your knee to your chest. What I'm trying to actually do is get my calf all the way up to my stomach. So you're trying to pull as hard as you possibly can. But we're using this to stretch this right back here.
I can get my thigh to my stomach. I can't get my calf to my stomach. Yeah.
Basically,
Bethany's got it.
in order to do that, you have to be younger than me and have no prior injuries. Yeah, the only old folk that I know that can do this, you know, have never had an injury. They stay bendy their whole life. But when you have injuries in the middle, switch legs. Every time you get hurt, you stop stretching. And it takes longer and longer to get back. You lose range of motion every time. Remember, keep your foot on the ground. Don't pull your foot up in the air. Get that thing flat on the floor so that we're stretching the right muscle. If you can get your knee up to your chest with your foot up here, that's great. It's not really a stretch though. Your foot's got to stay on the ground. Even if I'm not as close, you'll feel the stretch better.
If you worked those glute muscles with us yesterday, you should definitely feel this stretch.
Okay, so now we're gonna add one more out of this position. Once again, we're doing a bunch of weird ones. We're gonna lay this leg flat. Now this one I can't do because of my knees, so that'll depend on you and your flexibility level. But you lay your leg flat like this and then you reach forward towards the straight toe, or towards the straight foot. You can do this with your back against the wall. It's really the only way I can do it. And not 100% sure. Yeah, my knees, I actually don't feel my groin at all, but my knees won't let me do that. That hurts too bad! Okay, go ahead, switch legs, try it on the other leg. If you can't do it, you can just chill here with me. But in case I got any youngins, youngins are flexible folk.
Hunter, are you pretzel-fied now?
Cool, and relax. I've got two more for you. So we're gonna lay straight back. This is better done with either a partner or with something resistant. So I'm gonna grab my belt. Or not, 'cause it's not up here. Where's my belt? It's gonna be up there.
Jump rope, rubber band.
I don't know where my belt is. It stays hung up there. And ain't nobody else been here, so I don't know where it is. But I'm gonna use a jump rope. Something that, if you use a rubber band, you just stretch the rubber band, you won't really, unless you have a super thick one like the red ones I have. So from your back, I'm gonna put the rope on my foot, and I'm gonna use my hands to pull this straight leg as far back as I can. Once I get to a certain point, right here I'm kind of relaxed, I'm gonna straighten and push my leg out. I don't like to have this up on my toes, but you can if you have it up towards here to get more of a calf stretch. But I have history with calf injury, so that's why I avoid it with this position. Okay, switch legs.
Grabbing your pant leg is helpful.
Unless they're in shorts like me. That's why I need a rope to do this. Alright, stretch the other leg. Cool. And relax. Last one is going to be a basic straddle. We're going to go feet apart. We stretched our hamstrings from a bunch of different angles. We've stretched your glutes and the other muscles that connect, and we've stretched your lower back. So that should help this exercise be a little bit more simple. We're going to go towards the middle first, then towards the sides, and then we're going to make a 5-point count. Alright, so everybody reach forward.
We got Jerry Cassidy saying they're actually able to do some of this workout with you today. They're excited.
Hey, Jerry.
Okay, go to one side. The other side. And now we're gonna make 5 points. This is point 1, my foot. Point 2, point 3 is straight in the middle. Point 4, point 5 is the other foot. And what I'm simply gonna do is I'm gonna go with a slight stroke. When I do this, I try to only go forward and not back. So I wanna limit how much you bounce. There's lots of arguments back and forth whether bouncing is good or bad in stretching. Some say it's good, some say it's not. It really depends on how big your bounce is. So this is gonna be very small, focused on going forward. So I'm gonna hit foot, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then go further. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then go further. So in my mind, I'm making imaginary dots on the floor that I'm touching, and we're gonna go back and forth twice. So back and forth is once, and you do it one more time. Trying to go a little bit further every single time. All right, go. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, touch 5. Go further. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go further. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go further. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so that's how I stroke. So it's not like bounce forward and back. It's like forward, only forward. Like a little bit more forward every time. And I find that helps a lot. Not 100% sure what the science is behind it. I don't know if there is any science. Maybe it's just a bunch of people arguing on the internet. But I do know that if you make big bounces and your muscles are rapidly expanding and contracting, you're more likely to injure yourself. But if you're making these small little motions, it seems to help me stay lower for longer. Because you can bounce forward and come back out of it. But you notice, by the time you hit that last set, your little bounce back is much further than where you started. So you're definitely staying in that stretch position. Okay? Alright. Shake your legs out. You are done with me for the day. Deuces.